We had a couple of hailers yesterday into last night, a few more this morning possible in East Texas, and then what about tomorrow and Thursday? Let's talk about it as we head into a springtime pattern on this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning, Texas. It is Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Boldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We did have a few storms yesterday into last night. Not many, but a few. That did produce some nickel to quarter size hail. We very well may have a couple more this morning in the piney woods of East Texas down into the Golden Triangle, far East Texas, if you're wondering. That could also have some lightning, heavy rain, and hail. Let's just get into it now. We're going to start off with the fire weather outlook for the next several days across the state. This is from the Texas A&M Forest Service for today and tomorrow. Generally, the highest risk comparatively will be across portions of the Concho Valley, Hill Country, into the Permian Basin, Guadalupe Mounds, Davis Mounds, the Big Bend region, a bit into the Edwards Plateau, and into far west Texas, the borderland around El Paso. The risk will be lower across the eastern half of Texas, especially on Thursday, but we also note on Thursday as a dry line moves further to the east, we're going to see drier air filter into the western third of Texas, bringing us back up to the high category for wildfires. This was very high to extreme last week, so comparatively, we are going to be lower this week, which should give firefighters good initial attack opportunities versus last week, where it was just an all-out firestorm. Let's take a look at the high-res rapid refresh model for storm timing today, tonight, into tomorrow. You could see this model does have some thunderstorms this afternoon into, well, this morning into this afternoon across portions of northeast Texas, the Ark-La-Tex into East Texas. Some of those could have some pocket change size hail. Generally speaking, should diminish late tonight, quiet Thursday morning. And then tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be a cloudy day across most of the state. We're going to see moisture streaming northward across the eastern half of Texas, eastern two-thirds of Texas, really. It's going to be pretty humid. Western third of Texas, you'll stay comparatively dry, so the humidity will not be as high. And then east of the dry line, we may see a storm or two fire up tomorrow afternoon if we get enough clearing, enough destabilization, and the cap's able to lift. East of the dry line in the big country, if those storms do fire up, we could have some hail and gusty winds out of them. They'd likely be supercellular, but not really a tornado concern. And then, one scenario is they form into a small cluster that then moves east across parts of the big country into western North Texas before diminishing around 11 p.m. This specific model, for example, brings them into the Metroplex. And then tomorrow night into Thursday morning, additional showers and thunderstorms. Likely we'll look at that in just a moment. All right, in terms of fog, foggy morning. This morning, fog will burn off by about 10 to 11 a.m., leaving us decent as we go into tonight. More areas of fog along the entire Texas Gulf Coast. South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, coastal plains, parts of south central Texas, the Brazos Valley, southeast Texas, East Texas, the Golden Triangle. Some of that fog will likely be dense with visibilities under 1/4 mile, and then that'll burn off, except along the immediate Texas Gulf Coast, by late Wednesday morning. All right, let's take a look at the severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. This will be for tomorrow, Wednesday, the afternoon through early mid-evening hours. The potential, again, for an isolated severe storm or two with hail, generally speaking, quarter to maybe ping-pong ball size, localized gusty winds of 60-65 miles an hour possible, if it even happens at all. And then as we get into Thursday, which, hey, you know what? Let's show you an outlook from this month and not, a month ago. This is what happens when I make graphics right before I go on air. And then here we go. Here is the severe weather outlook for Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. Notice scattered severe thunderstorms possible east of a surface dry line across northwest Texas, the big country, the Concho Valley, into Texoma, North Texas, and central Texas, with isolated severe thunderstorms possible mainly Thursday night to Friday morning across the Ark-La-Tex, Brazos Valley, East Texas, maybe even into portions of the Piney Woods and Golden Triangle. And again, we'll refine this forecast as we continue to get a bit closer, but at this point, the main issues look to be large hail up to the size of golf balls, localized damaging wind gusts, but a tornado can't be ruled out. We still need to get some of the more small-scale features figured out and the exact timing of this system determined. It's not going to be moving onshore into Southern California until late tonight or early Wednesday. So once it moves onshore and we get weather balloons and it into the overall more dense upper air network, we'll be able to determine exactly how the system is shaped up now over the west coast, and thus that'll help weather models determine exactly the scenario that'll play out Wednesday and Thursday. But it is spring here in Texas, at least according to Mother Nature, so yeah, welcome back the stormies, and some of them are going to be a bit rowdy. All right, forecast rain totals over the next several days. This is today through Sunday morning. The potential for 1/2 to 1 inch of rainfall across Texoma, North Texas, the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas. Localized amounts up to 2 inches possible, especially in the Ark-La-Tex, East Texas, Golden Triangle. We could see a few hundredths of an inch of rain up to maybe 2/10 of an inch of rain in places like the coastal plains, Central Texas, the Concho Valley, the Big Country, up into the Texas Panhandle, especially north of Interstate 40. In fact, there may be a wee bit of snow up there as we get later into this week. Let's look at the global forecast system. All right, as we get into Thursday, we're going to look at the longer range American Weather Model global forecast system. It's a bit coarse, lower resolution, but it still gives a decent timeline of what it thinks is going to play out. You can see it's got plenty of showers and thunderstorms across the eastern half to eastern 2/3 of Texas, Thursday morning through Thursday night to Friday morning. Most of that activity then moves east of the state, at least the stronger storms, by Friday morning, Friday afternoon, with some continuing precipitation across the eastern third of Texas. But also note, it does bring a pocket of rain and snow into the Panhandle Monday morning and Monday afternoon. That's one possible scenario, not necessarily one that is written in stone, but I mean, it'd be nice for the folks in the Panhandle to get some rain and or snow out of this. So we'll keep an eye on that, but yeah, a little bit of snow maybe in the Panhandle, and then the continuing chance for some isolated scattered showers across East Texas, the Texas Gulf Coast, Friday afternoon into Friday night before a mostly dry weekend arrives as a strong cold front arrives and pushes through the state. Forecast high temperatures across state over the next few days. Here we go today. 90s, South Texas, the Hill Country, South Central Texas, the Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley. It's going to be warm. 90 in San Antonio and Austin, 93 in Laredo, 91 in McAllen, 60s in the Panhandle, 70s and 80s elsewhere across the state. Tomorrow, same story, a little warmer in the Panhandle. Generally speaking, across the state, we're going to be looking at highs from the middle 60s in the Panhandle into the 70s in places like El Paso, the borderland, far west Texas, through northwest Texas, Texoma, west Texas, the Ark-La-Tex, 80s across the southern half to southern 2/3 of Texas, with a few 90s in the Edwards Plateau. On Thursday, a little warmer across northwest Texas, as west of that dry line, and behind the dry line, where very dry conditions are expected, some fire danger will undoubtedly reoccur. 70s mostly across the state, 60s far west Texas, northwest Texas Panhandle, 80s and 90s South Texas. And then here we go on Friday, crashy, the cold front starts to move in. This is from 6 a.m. onward. If the front's a little faster, this will be adjusted a bit, but regardless, it's going to be chilly and breezy behind that front on Friday. This one will pack a bit of an oomph, knocking temperatures down into the 30s and 40s in the Panhandle. Again, we may see a bit of snow if the global forecast system is right. Otherwise, as that front moves southeast on Friday, we'll see temperatures fall behind it. Ahead of the front, temperatures 60s, 70s, 80s. Behind it, temperatures falling into the 40s and 50s with a gusty northwest wind. Here's Saturday's high temperatures for the state. We're generally looking at 40s and 50s. Northwest half of the state, right around 60, 60s and 70s southeastern half of the state. So, hey, you know what? Not too shabby. Definitely not an Arctic front, but it will pack a wee bit of a punch. That'll be it for your Texas Weather Roundup on this Tuesday. As always, we appreciate all those who have been subscribing to us on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel, hitting that big old thumbs up, hitting that big old subscribe button, and of course, get the bell to get notified when we post new videos. It's usually between about 6 and 7 a.m. on weekdays, sometimes a little later when I'm running behind schedule. But as always, you can also find us on the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app and on our website, texasstormchasers.com. If you want our free app, just search for us in your device's app stores. App Store. There we go. Yeah, apparently I'm having issues making words this morning. More coffee. All right. Again, that'll be it. We'll keep an eye on storms today, tonight. We'll have graphics and such posted on the social media channels and weather blog. Y'all make it a good Tuesday, and as always, God bless.